What's going on, ladies and gentlemen and ladies? Welcome back to the Thursday live stream. Every Thursday, 5 p.m. on the West Coast, allegedly, and 9 p.m. Hold on, is that 5, 6, 7, 8? Okay, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. 5 on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Every Thursday, raw and uncut. We got my boy ABL, Derek Gretanego. They in here. We normally have a guest, but we trying to build some people out and trying to find some different people. Some of y'all said, "Hey, man, it's always black people." I know. But we'll get some other people on here as well. But for now, it's gonna be us, baby. And I want to start out talking about Kamala Harris. Now, Kamala Harris had to have been the most trashiest candidate that Joe Biden could have chosen to be his VP. I mean, I ain't gonna even lie. Like, he could have went with Elizabeth Warren. She's feisty. She fake, but she feisty. He could have went with Klobuchar. He could have went with this. What I think he should have done was Bernie Sanders. Now, if Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden would have linked up, bro, Trump would have been in trouble. But they're so fake that they had to pick a woman, and now they're in the position that they're in. But I'm gonna play a little thing. I'm gonna let ABL and Derek give a commentary to it. But then I'm gonna show an article where they tried to call my boy Derek out, saying that what his meme that he posted was fake news. But anyway, take it away. I'm gonna find that article real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. So what Brandon's referring to is yesterday, USA Today decided to post an article referencing yours truly in it. And I was actually shocked because like 10 people sent it to me. And they were like, "You're on USA Today." I was like, "Oh, good, man." What are they? They got a picture of me in the White House. Like, what are they? Whatever. They like, "Nah." They say you fake news. You said something about Kamala that was wrong. So I'm like, "Oh man, over the last few years, I do make memes. That's what I was known for in the beginning. So it could have been something crazy, whatever." And come to find out, it was referencing an old Breakfast Club interview where Kamala had said that she smoked weed during college while listening to Tupac and Snoop Dogg. Well, come to find out that Tupac and Snoop Dogg didn't release their first albums till way after she was in college. So I made a meme that said exactly that. Now, the ironic part is hundreds of other people made memes. Hundreds of other people, if you go right now and search Kamala Harris, Snoop Dogg, or Tupac, hundreds of other liberal people got on her for this. But somehow, some way, USA Today is blaming me, saying that my meme all of a sudden is fake news, but not including anyone else that just referenced her own interview.
I know, dude. I'm finna find it.
Are you looking for
it? You know what time it is, though. You know what's going on with that. It's a matter of just trying to attack us right now because they know that we have a big part to play in this election. We're kind of like the key. They can kind of keep our voices kind of suppressed or make us seem as like we're not really serious. We're kind of fake, not even really real people. Then they can say, "Oh, look at them. They're not really real. Don't look at the black conservatives. No, don't go over there and vote for them. Stay over here with us. Vote for us." 95% black vote for the Democratic Party. Like you said, they could have brought up anybody. They could have just brought it up in general. Matter of fact, there was no real need to name you at all. They could have just brought up that whole thing. This was an article that was talked about back when it happened by New York Times. They said that she was fake. Right. So why are they talking about you as a person on Instagram rather than these whole big organizations that are out there that have been saying the same thing?
See, that tells me that Derek is a threat, right? That they found him and they said, "We're gonna look up this brother's stuff because you dropping truth bombs. It's gotten shared." And they said, "Look, we got to take this guy down because he too real." So I'm gonna show the world. Let me get this thing going real quick. I'm gonna show the world what the meme was and what they said.
Okay.
So we can see it as clear as the noonday sun. This is Derek Gretanego's Instagram, and then right here is the post.
Oh no, that's the YouTube.
That's a YouTube video. So he made a YouTube video about it. Where's that post at? Is it right here?
No, the post is not up there.
Scroll a little bit.
No, the post is not up there.
You didn't put the post up there?
No, the post is not on my page. No.
What you do with it?
The post is not on my page yet. I've got something special lined up for it. I didn't put it on my page yet.
How did they get it?
What do you mean? They went back to 2019. The post is supposed. So what happened is the post is going viral again because Kamala. So the post is going viral on all these Twitter pages, and that's what they're saying. The post originated with this gentleman, this conservative activist named Derek Gradenigo. He's the originator. If you read through the article, it's like
They got your name in here.
Yeah.
So basically, they got an old meme from 2019
right.
that they're bringing up right now because it's still circulating.
Yeah, this ain't new. This is something I made in 2019, and they're just now putting it on USA Today. Like, don't listen to this dude. Like, don't listen to him. Don't whatever. And part of my problem is we've already called something out like this before. When I said we've talked, me, Brandon, and ABL have talked about by the time November comes around, are they going to try to start circulating our names so that they could try to discredit to pull us off of certain avenues? You know what I mean?
Man,
so,
look, they gonna try, but the evidence is in. Everybody can see this screen, and I guess I don't know what this article just went to an ad. Man, my computer sucks. All right, let's go to the video. So on the video, we're gonna listen to just a little bit. It's kind of narrated through the Washington Post, so I'm not gonna play the whole thing straight through. But in the video,
before you play it, the Washington Post will put their own little spin on it. You already know what time it is with that.
Yeah. So, but when I was watching this, man, it looked like they were really trashing her. So we're gonna watch a little bit of it. I can't play the whole thing. We'll just do some commentary on it. So as soon as it starts playing,
I did inhale. It was a long time ago.
Harris explains. Hold on. I need to go back because this fool said, listen to what she said about weed. And anybody that smoked weed ever in their life know that this sounds stupid as two left shoes.
Radio interview with the Breakfast Club are sparking controversy.
Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay. Like
and I inhale. I did inhale.
What? You smoked and you inhaled. What else do you do? What else you gonna do smoking weed? What person smoke weed and they don't inhale the weed? You ain't like you smoking a cigar.
You know, it's funny. She going back to the whole what was that? Was that Bill Clinton talking about I smoked but I didn't inhale? You going back to that whole thing. It's like, what? Come on, man. Like, if you smoke, then you inhale. You ain't just gonna puff on it for no reason. I mean, come on, man.
If you puff on it and you ain't inhaled, that ain't called smoking. I don't know what you're doing, but you ain't smoking weed. And if you really smoking weed like that, you probably in that crowd. You know that ain't your verbiage. I ain't never heard nobody say, man, I smoked that you inhaled though. That sounds stupid. Let me play the other part of this.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, definitely Snoop. Tupac for sure.
People quickly jumped on what they saw as a contradiction, given that Tupac and Snoop Dogg were not producing music while she was in college. Harris
well,
they go to
that's it. There's nothing else that need to be said.
No, listen, man.
They weren't promoting music while she was in college. How are you listening to them in college?
This is what's so crazy because I made the meme. This is early 2019. I don't know if it's February or March. I made the meme after everybody else came out. Like 300 other people came out talking about this, left and right, black, white, purple, everything else. I made this meme that simply said the same thing. It put the dates and said Tupac's first album wasn't until 1993, something like that, and Snoop's something else, and she was in the 80s. And so now, all out of nowhere, the USA Today is posting this guy Derek has a fake meme going around, blah 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 blah, and they're basically saying that if you listen to that audio, she's not talking about smoking weed, listening to Tupac and Snoop. She was just looking at Envy saying, "I listen to Tupac and Snoop." You could clearly hear them say, "What do you do when you're smoking?" You know, and she's like, "Who do you listen to when you're smoking?" But again, I don't even know why my name is even involved.
Hey, man, you know what? It was a thinly veiled hit piece against you. You know, one thing I learned about a lot of these publications online, they do little sneak propaganda, little soft propaganda to where you don't even really notice that it happened. That they'll put something out there to formulate an opinion about somebody while at the same time they're trying to prove a greater point. They're basically trying to shoot at everyone that's saying bad things about Kamala, but they're hitting you directly with a straight bullet talking about, oh, I didn't mean to. No, you definitely meant to, because there was no point in naming you specifically in that. That was targeted towards you specifically. Right. Somebody might got a problem with you over there at USA Today.
You're in there killing their narrative. That's what, when their narrative get killed, That's what they do. Let me read some of these super chats because you got a fan, Derek. You got a fan. I don't know if I don't know what's happening. The Canninator, 2019. Derek, the gorgeous man with the gorgeous voice. I'm married, but I ain't blind. Trump 2020. She wrote another one. I can't lie. You're all handsome. I guess I'm just man crazy from afar. Just looking guys and complimenting. All right, don't let your husband come on here and get domestic violence. You know what I'm saying? You asked a little too much. You could have just said, I love you. Thank you for the super chats. But you could have just said, great video, guys. You guys are great looking for my sister or something. You know what I'm saying? Make up somebody. But you talking about you want to look. You wrote $40 to tell Derek how good he looked. But your husband will be mad. Unless y'all like what's his name? Will Smith and them. No, I'm just
kidding. Man.
Anyway, let's see.
Come on, man. We left the red table talk 2 weeks ago, man.
Let's say Detmer, the big three. I appreciate it, Detmer. Thank y'all for the super chat. And thank y'all for joining the Tatum squad. That's that join button. You can join the Tatum squad, be a part of the squad. We have a members only live interview on next Monday. ABL has a squad too, so join ABL squad. But the video is titled Kamala Harris will be president. The reason why I said that, some of it is to clickbait y'all a little bit, but then the other part of that is that this is the person that will actually be the president if Mr. Joe Biden gets elected as president. She's going to be the president, not Joe Biden. This is what they're looking forward to. There's no way he's competent enough to do anything cognitive as the president. Like, he can't even talk. He don't even know where he's at. He can't even stop from stuttering. And I used to I listened to some old clips of Joe Biden, and he didn't stutter like he's doing now. He did not sound as unpolished back then as he does now. And I think that's a huge problem. And people don't want to address it, but it is a large problem that has to be addressed at some point, because Kamala Harris is going to be the one really pulling the strings if y'all end up voting for Joe Biden. I know none of y'all will. I'm talking about somebody on another live stream, but that's pretty much the crux of what's going on.
You know what's happening right here? I'm getting Walter Mondale vibes all over again. You know, like this is what's happening. Didn't he have a female running mate back in the day when he got stomped down by Ronald Reagan in '84? I mean, he got stomped into wine, stomped into dust, Thanos snap, just evaporated, all of that, man. It was a wrap. What did he win? Like one state out of the entire union? I mean, come on, man. You got 49 states. You only win one. It was embarrassing. He was trying to, pick somebody that might kind of excite the base and try to get some leverage. But this is Ronald Reagan, 1984, all over again. This is going to be worse than Hillary Clinton, because the reality, I'm not a Hillary Clinton fan, but I got to keep it real. Hillary Clinton back in 2016 was better than anybody that ran on the Democratic side of the aisle in 2020. Anybody. You could be Tulsi Gabbard, Andrew Yang, Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, whatever his name is. She was better than anybody that ran in 2020, and she lost. So how is the incumbent going to lose, who almost never loses, against the worst candidate, a guy that's halfway dead, and a candidate that got 0% of the black vote, mind you, in the primary? Black folks wanted to vote for Joe Biden, maybe even Pete Buttigieg or Cory Booker, more than Kamala Harris. So I don't understand. You got a failed presidential candidate, somebody that did horribly. The Democratic Party put a lot of money and time behind her, trying to promote her all throughout the time when she was in the Senate from 2017 up until now. And that's going to be your winning ticket. It ain't going to happen. But if by some stroke of luck, Joe Biden was to win, he'd be dead or retired in the first year. And then she would become the president.
And people might think you playing, bro, but like, hold on a second. Then the thing ain't gonna stop, which was true. I'm trying to pull up the Uncle Tom clip of Joe Biden endorsing Strom Thurmond, who's a racist, but we'll get to that in a minute. But some people may think the ABL is exaggerating, but Joe Biden is really going down a slippery slope. And being the president of the United States is incredibly stressful. Barack Obama looked very different when he left office than when he joined. Same thing with Trump. Trump only been there 4 years, man. And I saw a video of him debating Hillary Clinton, and he don't look as sharp as he used to. Joe Biden can't handle that pressure. I don't know, Derek. What do you think, man?
I think they're getting exactly what they want. You know, when you were talking about the Susan Rice possibility, perhaps the Dark Knight Returns, Michelle Obama coming out with the cape on to save the day. Everybody's hoping for and dreaming for this, but ultimately what they wanted was a Barack 2.0, somebody they could control. So they sit here and they say, look, we have Kamala, we have her dead to rights. We got this, sweet Willie dude that she used to date, and they probably already got all the folders of skeletons they need to control her. So they're like, look, she's the perfect option here that we can use. Pelosi, all these people are involved. Now, when you look at who actually was out here on the anti-Trump side, when you look at the message boards and in the shade rooms and places like that, they were all for the Susan Rices or Michelle Obamas, and they're actually in an uproar now. Because I do watch and survey the people that we like to call haters. You know what I mean? And a lot of the haters now are sitting here and people are saying, oh, well, they're going to come around to Kamala. They're going to come around. Look, I will tell you right now, a lot of people in the ADOS movement are basically like, we aren't coming around no matter what you do. Now, the ADOS movement is the American Descendant of Slaves. I believe I got that right, ABL, for sure.
You got it.
Descendant of Slaves, and they're hell sent on getting reparations, things of that nature. But the difference with a lot of them that I've talked to is that they appreciate their Americana. They just want what they feel is rightfully owed to them. Whereas you have a lot of people now who are walking around millionaires talking about, I hate America and burning the flag and whatever and whatnot. These people have sat here and said, we've seen what Kamala Harris has done in the prison system. We've seen what she's done to low-level drug offenders. They're very familiar in the Bay Area with what happened with her as a assistant DA from, I think, 91 to 98. And they're not forgetting. They're not coming around. And their whole juxtaposition, their whole idea is we are voting on a Black agenda, which in my opinion is what it always should have been. It should have been what is best for your family and what is best for you and what is best for your household. And they're saying that like that's something brand new. The ironic part is we've been talking about that since 2015 or 2016 when we first popped up. So like I said, all the talking that people are doing and all this sugarcoating, I'm looking at the beneath layers of the Black community itself in the Never Trump movement. And you see a huge split already with people who are like, I'm not voting for her. So we'll see.
Man, nobody with a right mind is going to be positive or at least be convinced or confident in the election surrounding these two idiots. I mean, if you want to lose the Black vote, you couldn't have picked two better candidates. I mean, Kamala Harris has a tremendously poor reputation in the Black community, especially from her track record in California, which I think that the president right now can attack her on. Like, oh, you really the person of the Black community? Look at all these people that you prosecuted against. You weren't only prosecuting against them, you were unfairly prosecuting against them. And you were arresting people or prosecuting people for truancy, meaning poor people who their kids weren't going to school consistently or on time. You're prosecuting these people. You're trying to take them down. That is like almost like what they would consider the Republicans doing to poor people. I mean, and then Joe Biden was complicit in endorsing a racist and Strom Thurmond, saying that he was his mentor. Like I can't understand how they can escape the bludgeoning of the political raft of President Trump's campaign. When you put $20 million into ads that are just unveiling the hypocrisy between those two candidates, I don't know where you go from there.
Can't call it, man.
Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, share this video. We want to get to about 10,000 people watching at one time. Shout out to Tamika Hamilton. Tamika Hamilton is running for office. She needs help. She needs your donations to make her campaign even better. I think she has a chance to win. Some people don't even have a chance to win, but Tamika Hamilton has a chance to win. I donated $1,000 to her today. My pledge is for y'all to go out and donate. I'll put the link or have Corinne put the link in the comment section where you can go on and donate to her campaign. So anyway, I just want to give Tamika a shout out, man. She's active in the military right now, so she can't even campaign on her own. So I'm gonna help her out. I've endorsed her already. But y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, join, visit Tatum Report, all of that stuff. Let's get into the next topic. Now, we already seen that Joe Schmo Biden, Geriatric Joe, Quid Pro Joe, Jim Crow Joe, whatever you want to call him, that he picked Kamala Harris. But there's other things that are going on in this country that are even more concerning to me. One is, in my personal opinion, where are they going with these masks and COVID-19? Where are they going with this stuff, man? Because I just saw an article that came out that said, I think some city workers in California or somewhere Korean was telling me about, they are telling their employees that they have to wear masks on the Zoom call. They have to wear masks on a Zoom call.
I mean, come on, like a Zoom call, like for real, a Zoom, like you're in your house, ain't nobody around you. See that right there? That's just control. There's nothing else other than control. And like it's not. You see, this is what I'm talking about, and I say this a lot about the so-called progressives. If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Oh, I wear the mask. It's no big deal. I don't want to kill my grandmama. I'm gonna keep everybody safe. All this and that. Then they say, all right, well, look, check it out. I need you to wear the mask while you're in your car driving. Oh, it's all right. I don't need to breathe that much anyway. I know it's 105 degrees outside in the shade, and that's okay. I'll suffer the consequence of not being able to breathe. All right, well, check it out. Wear the mask in your house. You can be by yourself in your drawers. Put your mask on when nobody's around you. Oh, okay. You know, I'm going to show solidarity. I mean, people will do anything for the state. I think somebody said, if they tell you to put your thumb on your hind parts and walk around like that, you do that too. So it's like, you know, where are you really going to stop? Where is it actually end at? At a certain point, we got to put an end to this stuff. But you know, one thing I like about all this mask stuff is that it's kind of revealing, you know, where is a good place to live and where it's not a good place to live. See, where I live, there's actually a mask mandate, but ain't nobody enforcing it. The police chief got on TV and said, you know what? I'm not enforcing that. So what? Okay. Now, the mayor is a leftist. He's a liberal. He's talking about it's a mask mandate, but anytime I see him around town, he's never wearing a mask. So I'm like, okay, if you're not going to wear a mask, if the police chief said, I'm not going to enforce it, I'm just not going to wear it. But in some parts of the country, it's to the point where they're almost assaulting you if you don't have a mask on inside your own home. So we got to just take a lot of our rights back and not allow what we have to be taken away from us.
100%, Derek.
I agree, man. At a certain point, you try to look at the silver lining in all this. And I've been watching a lot of documentaries lately about, you know, everything from JFK to Hoover and all this crazy stuff that started there that appears like we're reaching a boiling point here. Now, one of the worst things is we're going through something like this, and it's kind of like we don't know where it's going. All we know is it's going extreme. The silver lining is we're finally appearing that we're going to come to an apex point. And if there's an apex point, that means there's an ending. And I don't think these people are going to give up until there's a final showdown, like almost like a final Troy battle, Achilles Hector showdown between the forces of good and the forces of evil, because these people have gotten to the point now to where it's like, you know, you want to wear a mask here and a mask there. I would not be surprised, like they said, like people are saying, if COVID leaves the second week of November, if all of a sudden COVID leaves and all this other stuff and this, that, and the other, again, the question will be, and before I would be confident that people would come back and say, well, look, we need to go tell Brandon and ABL Derek, you were right, guys. You told us so. But people won't do that. Like I've got it through my head. Like because it's like you've been proving them wrong this whole time. It's like you've sat there and said, look, at the end of the day, they're not going to promote Kamala to this position. They're not going to do it. They're going to give y'all more credit than that. They're not going to put the architect of the criminal bill, I mean the prison bill, and then somebody who enforced it and then say, we want the black vote. They're not going to do y'all like that. They're not going to clown like that. And then they do it. And then now we got people trying to remix it. Like they like Diddy in 98, they trying to invent the remix. It's like, well, that's the old Joe. And that's the old Kamala. She didn't learn from a race. This is the remix version of them. And it's like, are y'all really going to buy this? Are y'all going to buy what they are selling? This is insane what is going on right now. And for us, like I said, there's even been a lot of people in my inbox asking if Biden is secretly for Trump, because there's no way they could be this crazy. There's no way they could be this crazy. People are like, are you sure he's just not in on it? He's not in on the plan, on the plot. I'm like, I don't know. I ain't seen him in none of the meetings. I ain't seen him in none of the secret meetings. Like, I don't know. But I mean, this is a crazy move.
Yeah, I agree with you 1,000%. Let me get a couple of these super chats real quick. Just to say thank you to Christina. Thanks so much for the super chat. We addressed those two issues. Ronald, thanks so much for the super chat. Marvel, thanks so much for the super chat. Jason, joining the Tatum squad. Conflict. Just wanted to thank you guys for waking me up. I'm Latino and I was brainwashed and you guys woke me up. That's great, man. That's great. Get up off of that mental plantation. You got to get up out there. You know, hear me? So let's see. Christopher, thank you so much for the super chat. Kamala cannot be constitutional law becoming president. She is an anchor baby. Mother is from India, father is from Jamaica, and neither were American citizens at time of her birth. That means the presidency will fall on Pelosi. Oh, we need to talk about that. Let's talk about what Pelosi said. I wish I could find that clip, but it's probably going to take me too long to find that clip. Do y'all remember that little press conference that Nancy Pelosi said, or she had, where she had referenced that she had to do some type of a psychological check or something because she's next in line as the president? Did y'all hear her say that? I'm gonna look for it while we talk about it. But she said she's next in line as the president, and that she alluded to the fact that whether President Trump accepted or not, he will not be in office.
Right.
Come November. Like as if something is going to happen where they're going to force him out against his will or whatever the case may be, even if he's duly elected. She said that she's next in line. She shouldn't even be talking like that because technically they got a lot of stuff that they have to go through before Nancy Pelosi can be put in place. Now, I heard that if Donald Trump, if the election is postponed, she automatically becomes the president until they can resolve the 2020 election. That's what I heard. And somebody that said they were a lawyer verified it. Now I can't verify because I didn't do the research on my own. But bro, that's kind of scary. You know what I'm saying? And they could be putting them as a shell game for Nancy Pelosi to become the president.
Yeah, see, I don't even know how that's going to work as far as any kind of postponement of the election. I thought that was really going to happen. That's kind of like a long shot type thing that could happen as far as any kind of postponement. And then if she were to become the president temporarily while the whole thing was getting worked up with the election, anything that she does in that period of time, it would never go through. It just wouldn't work. Anything that she would be successful in getting done, any kind of executive order, that'd get undone right away as soon as the next president, as soon as Trump would come back into office. And then as far as order of succession, if not Trump, then who? Like let's say Trump was to get removed from office some kind of way. They're going to file, what's that, Article 27 or whatever it is, going to get him out of office. Okay, you still got Mike Pence. That's the second in succession. Then you have the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. So, yeah, and who's to say that she would even be there to be in that position? So I don't know. And as far as Kamala Harris not being a natural, like if she's born in America, that's all that really matters. That's an anchor baby. So she would be legitimate. Now, as far as their parents and their status, I don't know about that, but she'd be legitimate. This is why you have the illegal aliens come over here, hop the border, pop the baby out, and boom, you got an anchor baby. That's a citizen right there all day. Now, as far as the parents, they're kind of in limbo, but generally they don't get deported because you got the anchor baby. That's the whole reason why they call anchor baby. So at best, at worst, she's an anchor baby. But regardless of what, she's still an American citizen. So she wouldn't face any kind of problems that way, from my point of view.
Yeah, I mean, you made a good point. I'm wondering what that what that perspective was, because if she was an anchor baby, like you said, she was born here, she's an American citizen, and that's one of the qualifications to become a president. You have to be an American citizen. Now, you can't be DACA or anything like that. You have to be born here as an American citizen. So I don't know what the anchor baby stuff has anything to do with, but that's an interesting point, because I heard somebody bring that up. They keep bringing it up. I don't know if there's a clause in there that says that one of your parents have to be an American citizen. I don't know if that's in there and why people are it.
If you're born here is all that really matters. Like I said, you could be an illegal. Your parents could be illegal. I think that might have been Marco Rubio. His parents, I don't think they were citizens. I'm not really sure, but he was born here, so that's all that really matters. They could be illegal aliens, both of them. As long as you're born here, that's all that really matters.
Perfect. Go ahead, Derek.
Didn't they have some sort of beef with Ted Cruz on something like that too, as well? Like back, I mean, it's always something like, I forgot what his thing was. With his thing in.
Now, Ted Cruz was born in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. But his parents were Americans. Matter of fact, I think his mom was an American citizen. So they let him kind of slide on that one. I'm not really sure how that works. But yeah, he's from Calgary, Alberta. And John McCain was born in Panama Canal in the military zone. But that was a military thing. His parents was in the military, U.S. citizens. Right. So they let him slide on that.
Yeah, so, wasn't Obama born somewhere not in America?
Hawaii.
Well,
they were saying
at the time when he was born in Hawaii, that wasn't a part of the USA.
Was it?
Or not?
It was.
No,
it was.
It was.
Now they were saying that he might have been born in Kenya. That's kind of like a thing that's been floated out. His own brother put it out there. His half brother Malik Obama, he put it out there that he was born in Kenya. So I don't know. All I know was Hawaii, but it's possible that he could have been born in Kenya.
Which will make it a conflict of interest. Let me grab a couple of these super chats. Christopher, let's see. Joshua, thanks so much for the super chat. Alexandra, thanks so much for the super chat. Kamala Harris' grandma had a plantation and she owned slaves. Also, a California attorney general, Kamala, locked up close to 2,000 black men for smoking weed. Don't even get me into Willie Brown. I think her biggest downfall is going to be what she said about Joe Biden in the campaign. Like, I know that people say a lot of stuff in debate. They said a lot of stuff about Trump, but I don't think anybody on the stage ever called Trump a racist. And I don't think anybody on the stage really gave credence to the accusations against President Trump in any legitimate way. Joe Biden had a woman claim that he did something illegitimate, and she had a lot more evidence and proof than Brett Kavanaugh's women. Kamala Harris said, I believe her. I think we should believe the woman. If we believe the woman, then he sexually assaulted somebody. So Kamala Harris is going to be pressed. Somebody's going to ask her and say, do you still believe that Joe Biden sexually assaulted that woman? And she's going to have to evade that question like the plague. Also, she pretty much said that Joe Biden's his policies were racist in relation to busing. Like, how do you not have that conflict and people have video evidence of you pretty much calling Joe Biden a racist? Now, you can criticize him. You can say his policies are bad. But when you call the man a racist, now you're on his team. How do you combat that?
You know what? It's a really good question. And, you know, the main thing that's going to really hurt Kamala Harris is the debate footage, because she was on there talking about you were against integration. You were against busing. That little girl was me. It's like, all right, so you were just saying that last year, right? Like right around a year ago, right around 13 months ago. But now here you are, August 2020, talking about, yeah, it's all right. And it was funny when they confronted her. I think it was Stephen Colbert on the Late Show who confronted her. It was like, okay, you had all them haymakers talking all that big game back in 2019. Now you want to go and be the vice president to the same guy who you were beating up in the debate. What's going on? She's like, oh, it's a debate. Ha, ha, ha. It's like, all right. So basically you telling me that what you were saying was not even genuine. You about to be halfway in tears talking about that little girl was me. So should I not take you seriously? So when I see you on stage having a debate, should I see it as a performance, or are you telling me what's really going on? One thing about Trump that I like, that we all like, is that he's going to be the same regardless of whether it's good or bad. You could be like, man, I wish you didn't say that, but it doesn't matter. He's going to be all the way real. He's not going to be like, oh, I didn't really mean it. Oh, I was just joking. Nah, I'm dead serious all the time. Love it or hate it. That's what it is. But Kamala Harris, not so much. So she's going to get torn to pieces. And one thing about Mike Pence, right quick, people think Mike Pence is this real laid back guy, real cool, down to earth. Now, he could play that role right now because he's a good balance to Trump being real bombastic and abrasive. But Mike Pence can go super hard. I've seen him debate before when he was in Indiana as a governor. He can go hard. I mean, you're talking about he can go from like a mouse into Mike Tyson and beat he will stomp Kamala Harris in the wine. So that's going to be really interesting to see when it comes to the debates. And she won't really have too much leg to stand on based upon what she said in the previous debate.
She's in trouble. Let me grab a couple of super chat. Olivia, thanks so much for the super chat. Address Cannon. Cannon, I think his name, the young boy that was killed. We'll talk about that. I made a video about that. I think you did too, ABL, but that video didn't get a lot of traction. It got demonetized real fast. But that kid, we'll talk about that here in a second. Martin, thanks so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Let's see who else we got on here. William, thanks so much for the super chat. Did you see that Biden tried to take credit for the Israel UAE peace deal? These guys legit lost their minds. Keep it 100, fellas, and thanks for what you do. Appreciate it. Let me see. I want to bring that clip in.
While you're doing that,
go ahead, Darren.
Been on that topic. I will say this. People are always talking about strategies, and I put a couple videos out about strategies when it comes to Kamala Harris. Because a lot of people are trying to go the whole like sexuality route. She was with Willie Brown, this, that, or the other. What we have to understand also in this chess game is we're trying to pick off liberal left people over here. Actually, this whole sex thing with her might work in her favor. Like, so I don't want to go and push that, because you got to understand Brandon over here and doing videos on Cardi B. They love that type of behavior. So her being that type of freaky freak might work. I don't want to even go down that route. The route I want to go is the one that Brandon just 100% said. We have to stick on her record with what she has done to men of all colors as far as the prison system. What she has done to women of all colors in the prison system as well. You need to stay harping on that 100%. The other stuff, like when people did the whole plantation stuff, her great granddaddy owned a plantation. Yeah, a lot of our families probably had slave owners and slave masters or whatever. They love for you to get into that race bait argument, because then they could flip on what they want. You know what I mean? They'll be like, oh, see, they doing race just like we do. Let's get into that and slang in the mud. No, I want to attack you individually on what you individually did. I don't want to galvanize the black community by saying she ain't black enough, because then other mixed people show up and they like, well, now we got to defend her because we mixed too. Nah, like, let her stand on her own and just go off of what she did. And I will say this, ABL, I want to see that Mike Pence you just talked about, because here's the thing. The fact that Mike Pence is kind of a quiet guy and he's the dude who won't sit at the dinner table with anybody besides his wife, he's going to get more credit if he does that. You understand what I'm saying? Because people are going to be like, the quiet guy stepped up and did this, because I'm not really used to seeing that. So you get even more credit. It's almost like the dude who never punches anybody who throws a punch. You like, oh. So if he steps up and he starts saying things to the effect of Kamala the same way that Tulsi did, it's going to be crazy. And I hope he does. I really hope he brings it in that situation.
Yeah, let me play this clip. I think Kamala is it's her talking to Joe Biden in the debate and really criticizing him. Let's see if it'll play through the first one.
Of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, you know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me. Senator Harris.
That little girl was me. That little girl was
tried
me.
to play that up, bro. She wanted the crowd on there, And she had the whole speech. Remember, she sold T-shirts on that. The little girl or something, I think she sold T-shirts after she made that claim. It's like, y'all so fake, it's crazy.
How do you not play that? Like, listen, at the debate, Mike Pence doesn't need to say nothing. Like, if he just plays that clip, I swear, if he just plays that clip in the beginning before anything even starts, like, let's get started, boom, and then look at her and be like, okay, so how do we resolve this? It's over. The whole thing is over. Like, all he's got to say is, how do we resolve this right here?
Mike Pence is, I think the worst debate is not going to be between Trump and Biden. I think it's probably going to be like worst debate, meaning I think the person's going to get their butts kicked the worst, is going to be between Pence and Kamala. And the reason I say that is because Pence may be able to get through to some people. Trump is finna say a whole bunch of crazy stuff to Joe Biden. He probably going to call him Sleepy Joe and all this other stuff, and everybody's going to laugh. And people that love Trump is going to love it. People that hate him are going to think he's so unprofessional, unpresidential, if he goes that route, which I think he will, which I think he should. But Pence is going to methodically cut down the arguments against her. And it's going to be very difficult for her to really come out against Mike Pence directly. They could come out against the administration, but Pence, with the smooth Barry White voice, going to come back and just cut it down and say, no, we actually did this. No, we actually did this. You actually did this. And so people will be able to have this presidential conversation between two people that I think could be logical in a presidential speech. Joe Biden is half dead and Trump is half crazy. So, you know what I'm saying? That debate is going to be entertainment. I don't know if people are going to really get no facts out of that. But I think they're not going to do it, though.
Do you think
they're not going to do that debate?
Do you think that Kamala is going to go? You know how it is in these debates. A lot of times they go to the emotional card, and if she's getting beat, she'll try to take Mike Pence and be like, "I'm gonna just go hard on him then, and I'm gonna start talking about your mama." Like, I mean, do you think she's gonna go that route because she knows Mike Pence ain't going there? And will it be effective? Like, you know, because everybody loves a show. I don't know. What do you think?
She got to play that little scary role. I mean, she got to play that little victim role. She did it against Joe Biden where I was that little girl. She got to have some DACA or some other thing that she throw out there to try to make Pence and Trump look like racists. See, they brought her in for a reason. They need the Negro, right? Because it's very hard for you to call her a racist. It's very hard for you to go too hard against her because then they'll call you a sexist. So they brought her in to do that job. You know what I'm saying? Let me get Jericho Green super chat, and then AB, I want to hear what you got to say. Jericho said she went horizontal so her career could go vertical. Jericho be killing me. Go ahead, ABL.
Hey man, I don't really got too much to add. I'm looking forward to the debates. Really, that's my main thing. I think I pretty much covered it. Now as far as Joe and Trump, the thing about Joe is that we've not really seen him talk for more than a few minutes, like throughout this whole campaign, for more than a few minutes at a time. So imagine him being up there on stage for an hour. It might be some kind of medical emergency or something. He might mess around and fall out. That's gonna be bad. You know, I ain't trying to see the man fall out on stage. All right, I ain't trying to see that. I want to see actual debate, but he's not going to look physically well. I think there was a debate previously back in the day. I forget who it was that was debating, but one guy looked sweating like a pig. He looked disgusting. I mean, that affected him. And I think in the 2016 debate, you had 81 million people that watched. 81 million, just a regular, average, everyday person that is not getting into politics are going to see Joe Biden for the very first time talk for any extended period of time for more than a second in the news clip. So they're going to be watching. And if he's on stage, you know, trying to like kind of lost, eyes glazed over, not knowing what's going on, it's going to affect him a lot. So I think Joe Biden himself would be his undoing. And then in the Pence and Harris debate, it's going to be Pence, like Derek said, it's going to be like a methodical breakdown.
100%. Somebody just did the super chat. Max said, my sister-in-law said, and this is off subject, my sister-in-law said, I need to wear a mask to attend my niece's birthday party on Saturday at their house. What in the world has come to? I know we bounce it around, man. I want to get back to this COVID thing. We have our gyms here in the state of Arizona that has been shut down. What are they doing at this point? What is our country doing? Why in the world are we still acting as if this thing is like a plague? People are dying. Yes, people die from STDs every year. People die from car accidents, drunk drivers. People die from alcoholism. People die from overdoses. I mean, God dang, people are going to die. Now, if you can mitigate, that's fine. But to shut down and try to play God, you can't play God. Our government wants to play God, dude. And that's what's bothering me, is that grown folks need to make grown folks decisions. If I don't want to get sick, then I can wear a mask in the grocery store. I cannot go to the gym. I can sit at home and take vitamin C all day and never go to work again and lose my job. I can make that decision. But we grown, man. If I want to get sick, let me get sick. Tell me where the government is trying to prevent people from getting sick. Like they're doing something like this to prevent you from getting sick in other ways. They don't stop you from opioids. They don't stop you from getting overprescribed in the hospitals where you stuck on these drugs. They don't stop you from doing nothing else. They let you do it. And when you die, they have the ambulance come pick you up or the police come pick you up. There is no preventative measures this extreme that the government is doing on behalf of the people. Nothing. What are they doing about domestic violence? Or is the government breaking in your house because you slapped your wife 2 years ago and they saying, we're going to come in your house and make sure we're going to put a police officer at your house to make sure you don't slap somebody. They're not doing any of that. And more people die from domestic violence and get hurt from domestic violence probably every year, just about. Then I'm not going to say COVID-19 because it was a lot of people. But if you look at the numbers of people who actually died, not the stupid numbers that they pick randomly making people have COVID, the actual numbers may be lined up with stuff like domestic violence, deaths, suicides, and DUIs, but they don't show nearly the contextual, concern.
Yeah, this whole thing with the virus, I mean, I feel like I was saying earlier, it's about control at this particular point in time. They're trying to get you to just acquiesce and do whatever they want you to do. It's not really about any kind of safety for real, because if it was, then we just do some real basic stuff. Like they say every time it's a flu season, wash your hands, all this and that. They talk about the flu shot, but nobody gets that. Some people might get the shot, but that's not really a thing that everybody just rushes out and gets. And it's a lot of things that don't make sense when you kind of lining up with other things that they got. So, okay, you can go to Walmart, right? And Walmart, you got people in there all day, all night, thousands of people touching everything. You got kids running around on their noses. They got their boogers and everything flying on the produce, and you touching that, you taking that home with you. So that's fine, right? You can go to do that. But if you want to go to church, you can't really do that unless you're a celebrity or you're some kind of social media person that's really popular on the left. Then you can go to church all you want. You can't have a funeral more than 10 people unless you're somebody that's important. And then you can have multiple funerals, multiple caskets, all of this and that and the third, different states. So it's like, it's not consistent. It's not really going to help. And so mask thing, they keep coming out and saying different things. They're saying the neck gaiters are worse than not having the mask on at all. So a face covering is worse than no face covering. Okay. Then they're saying a bandana is not really working because they're saying you got to have layers of fabric. Well, I can fold a bandana into layers of fabric and put it over my face. So why do I need to have a certain kind of mask to protect me from spreading the virus or protect me from getting the virus? Do they have stock in some of these masks? Are they trying to sell me a particular mask? Like, what's really going on? I'm trying to figure out what's happening. Like, all this stuff just makes no sense. It's not like some kind of deadly virus in the world type thing. We know that's not going on. The cases are rising, but the deaths aren't rising at the same rate. So this whole thing is just kind of dumb. And I think most people are pretty much over it at this particular point in time.
100%, dude. Somebody got stock somewhere. If I love the country more than I love to make money. And if I didn't, there's a lot of money to be made in COVID. There is. If you develop mass and you somehow have some inside trading, you can buy stock in certain companies. You can do all kinds of stuff knowing that it's going to lead to you being being profitable to you in the future. I mean, bro, right now, after the live stream, my brother is in town. We're going to go out to eat. We're going to have to wear a mask right past the front door. Then we're going to take it off and be in a thing hollering and hanging out. Bro, you can't explain to me that they ain't in Home Depot. Then the cross-contamination is out of control. Like, I go to the thing, they got that big screen up there that somebody made millions of dollars from producing. They put them screens in every institution in the world, in the country, every business. You go in there, the lady ain't got no gloves on her hands. She take my card, she to come back, she types on her computer, and then she want to drink some water. She grab a mask, drink water, put the mask back on. Then she didn't contaminate her face with whatever was on my card. And now the machine wasn't working. She reached around and touched the button on there. So everybody that have touched that machine and the buttons on that machine then contaminated her fingers. And now I touch my card and now I'm putting it in my wallet and I'm back on. And then I take the mask off to go outside, take the mask off, put it back in. Like, dude, you'll get more contact with your face than you ever would in the history of your life. And they told us that the face, don't touch your face and, wash your hands, will be the way to get out of this stuff. And now everything is just wear the mask. The mask is literally killing people. Now, I think some people are not going to die right now, but you're talking about the residual effect of breathing in the expelled CO2 from your body, and then you just sucking that in for 10 hours a day. Some people got to wear that all day. That can't be healthy. Your oxygen level flow is being diminished significantly when it's going filtered through that thing. You're not breathing in and out comfortably. Then people get sleepy and they start, you got asthma. You can really mess yourself up. 20 years from now, they're going to be like, yeah, we should have never did the mask. Well, we told you in 2020, you should have never did the mask.
I mean, I think we're looking at a situation, Brandon. You're so true, everything you're saying. And I think we need to look even deeper. I think we're looking at a situation that kind of reminds me of the movie The Wizard of Oz. Do you remember the point at The Wizard of Oz when they found out who the dude was behind the curtain? And then he kept trying to pull the curtain back, but it was already too late. He had been found out, but he kept trying to hold on to that last little hope of, like ABL says, control. What we're seeing here is something no one's seen in over 100 years. We're seeing people that are basically so woke and waking up that they're like, you can't tell me to look this way while you go ahead and steal my money. You can't tell me to go look at Tom Brady in the Super Bowl anymore. You can't tell me to go buy LeBron's new shoes while you steal everything out of my neighborhood. We are fully woke, and they're holding on to that. Wear the mask, and to the point of where now we are at a place of no return, to where it's like you said, when this mask thing is done, there is no more control. They have no more control. There is a full independence, a full shift. There's a full renaissance that's upon us. And that's why I say the only way this ends is in some sort of conflict, because this globalist faction that has had control over us now knows, they're like, look, we tried scaring people. We tried the Cold War. We tried to tell them that the boogeyman was going to get them. The only thing we got left is to plan an alien invasion in October and then say that there's green men coming. And it's like the movie Signs with Mel Gibson. Everybody stay in the house and don't vote. That's the only card we got left before it's complete and total independence of the people. Now, what I'm saying by that is, after this whole COVID stunt, there is no going back to control for the human population. It's basically like, this is it. So there's no way they could come back in January and say, okay, now everybody needs to fall in line because everybody needs to get 30 shots every month. No, it's it. The COVID is as far as it gets. We've already outlasted the killer of all killers. So what now? It's just free independence. So now they're basically sitting here saying, damn, what do we do? These people are too woke. So right now, all I have to tell people is to keep your head on a swivel. And this fall is going to be something serious, because I don't think they're willing to go out without a final assault, a final Hail Mary to try to control everybody. And we need to stay steadfast and push through it and collect this full independence that Donald Trump has rang into existence in 2016 and complete this mission.
Bro, it's like once people stop wearing it, they ain't putting it back on. That's a thing that if we get exposed, to them taking off the mask and people like, oh, so I'm not gonna die. I haven't gotten sick. And you have these numbers come out, a period of time where people are not wearing masks, no more illnesses are happening, no more deaths, and they realize that the mask didn't mean, you know what, bro? You know, people are waking up. I don't know, ABL, Derek. I don't know if y'all like have family members and stuff. People are waking up, bro. My best friend, and I don't even like watching some of his posts that's political because he be on the Black Lives Matter stuff. We wanted to get some ice cream the other day. And I know that sounds soft, but I wanted some ice cream.
I won't gonna say nothing.
So two men went to get some ice cream, right? So we were gonna get some ice cream and catch up. And he said, hey B, hey man, what's up with Obama and then pizza? And I was like, what else do you know? He go, bro, that wasn't pizza. They wasn't talking about pizza in them emails. And I'm like, you know now too? So he on it. He telling me about the deep state. And I'm like, bro, you waking up? You missed the Democratic Party, BLM. And now, you know, I'm not saying he completely converted, but he was saying, you know, man, one thing about Trump, man, he be keeping it real though. Exactly. Now people are waking up because they've been sitting at home with this COVID stuff. And now they're being exposed to things they would have never looked at because they have so much time on their hands. Let me get a couple of these super chats real quick, so I don't miss anybody, because I think somebody super chatted $100 and I want to bless them. So Alexandria, notice how when Biden talks online, they turn off the comments and they want us to think he's ahead. That's another thing, y'all. They brainwashing. Let me finish these. Russell, thanks so much for the super chat. You guys are a true century. Let's see. Maybe it's center. That's from another country. All right, Doug, thanks so much for the super chat. You guys have more views than ESPN. Laugh out loud. Or any of you watching sports? No, I'm not watching sports. Y'all watching sports?
Man, I've been trying to watch sports, man. I'm the biggest basketball fan you probably know. I'm a big basketball fan. But they got the sport, they got the BLM stuff all in it. They got Black Lives Matter on the basketball court, on the back of their jersey, everywhere. So it's like you killing my sport here that I've been waiting to see again ever since the virus popped. I can't watch it because it's too distracting. It's the same reason why I didn't like when Bob Costas used to be doing Monday Night Football, like in the halftime show, talking about some kind of world issue, talking about tropical rainforest burning. It's like, look, man, I don't care about that right now. I'm trying to enjoy the game, sir. You need to just go over on MSNBC with that. I'm not trying to see that right now. But you got that happening during the game. I can't do it. When they can get rid of that, I'll come back to basketball. But until then, I'm good.
Bro, I don't care if the world is in it. Just hit that three. That's all I want to see. You hit that three-pointer, and then the world can end. But you're supposed to be hitting these threes and dunking on people. I don't care nothing about Black Lives Matter. I don't care about none of that, bro. I don't care if we were still in Jim Crow. I don't hear nothing about no social issues. Hit the three. Hit them free throw shots. Shaq. I know Shaq retired, but when Shaq wasn't hitting them threes, that was entertaining. Bro, I'm one of the biggest football fans. You know, I want to play in the NFL my whole life, man. You know, I was in the NFL draft in 2010. I tried out for the NFL when I was a cop, and I don't forget, I was like 3 years on the department. They let me try it again because I was such a good athlete. I tried it again. Now my 40 wasn't that good because I was a cop, man. I hadn't trained. You know what I'm saying? But dude, I don't want to see you kneeling. I don't want to see you Black Lives Matter. Shut the front door. I want to see somebody get hit and go unconscious. That's what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? I want to see some people getting CTE while I'm watching them. No, I'm just playing. I don't want to go that far. But I want to see some banging, man. I want to see some Hail Mary touchdowns, one head catches. What is his name? Odell Beckham's, bro. I'm not trying to look at y'all kneeling like some little weenies. Go ahead, Derek.
I'll be honest, man. Like part of the draw that I didn't realize for me when it came to basketball and football was that to be a professional, you had to perform at the highest level in front of people. Now, this basketball thing, I can't watch this basketball thing with it being like they got cardboard cutouts in the crowd. That looks crazy, bro. I want you to envision something for a second. Envision you live in Rome in 100 AD and they're in the Colosseum And instead of all those people cheering in the crowd, it's a bunch of cutout lollipops in the crowd, and then they swording up tigers and stuff. It's just not as effective. So for me, watching a football game where somebody catches a Hail Mary or hits somebody, and there's nobody in the crowd except Boo Boo the Fool, that's the trainer or whatever, and he clapping and screaming. So the crowd is your trainer clapping against their trainer. It's just not, to me, that's not professional, because there's really no pressure. There's no, imagine hitting a home run in the bottom of the ninth with no pressure. So it doesn't really give the viewer the same effect. Now you say, well, Derek, what are we supposed to do? I know what you're supposed to do. Stop playing and get a real, let's take a few years off and let's get this, deep state and globalism out and make America back to what it was. And then maybe we'll come back to sports in a few years after we expose all the corona fake stuff that people didn't put around. But for now, people need to quit acting like we need sports to survive. Like, well, man, without sports, man, I'm going to die, man. I'm going to die. No. If you keep eating them sugar pops, you're going to die from diabetes. That's what you're going to die from. Like you keep drinking that Kool-Aid and you keep eating them Popeye sandwiches with the spiciness. That's what you're going to die from. Not because Tom Brady is not starting on your TV in September.
Dude, that's funny, bro. I just wonder how. Listen, man, I play football. Some of y'all play, but I play football, and college football is just as crazy as NFL when it comes to the fans. Bro, it ain't the same game, man. When you hit somebody and it's and you can't even hear it because everybody cheering, you get a level of adrenaline you can't get nowhere else. When you running up the field, when you running out, out of the tunnel at the beginning of the game, everybody's cheering. You got the band playing. You got, your whole team, saying, you hear that, man? You in it, bro. Now you got crickets playing in the background. Like when you hit somebody, it just sounds like y'all at practice. You know what I mean? Yeah. You ain't crunk. You ain't hype. You can't talk trash. You can't point at the fans. Bro, the game ain't the same. And the game ain't the same because these people are lying to us about COVID-19. It ain't because there's a real pandemic. And I'm saying pandemic in the sense that everybody got an equal opportunity to die. That's not true, man. That's not true. I know I had COVID. I know my wife had COVID. And we were around somebody who had COVID. We were around, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. But he died from COVID. But he was in the same car with us. So if he had it then, he gave it to us. Or he could have. Herman Cain. Herman Cain could have given it to us. Or whatever. We don't know. We don't know how he got it. We don't know where he got it from. Nobody knows. All of us, everybody was hanging out together. Herman Cain, because he had cancer and other underlying issues, he succumbed to that. Everybody else is fine. You telling me that all the people he was around, he didn't get anybody sick if he was infected, or somebody who got infected, he didn't get anybody else infected? Nobody died that I know. Not one person that I know except Herman Cain that I know, that I see, that I know from somebody that I know have ever died from COVID-19. I don't know anybody. Unfortunately, Herman Cain did. But everybody else, nobody has. Like, I don't even know nobody that's been bedridden over it.
And at this point, we know all the risk factors. We have the risk factors. If you are elderly, underlying conditions, you know pretty much what it is. It's like, okay, if you fall into that category, maybe you stay at home, maybe you self-quarantine, do whatever you want to do. But everybody else, go back to normal life. Kids not going to school for a year, 2 years. I mean, come on. You can't do that, man. Parents got to work. So what are they going to do? If you got to work and you got two parents working, like, what are your kids going to do in the meantime? How are they going to get educated? Now, they missed out on the whole year of their schooling. This is very important for a developing mind. You're talking about kids in elementary school. That's going to be a big gap. They're not really going to be able to make up. So you got to get kids back to school, and they're not going to really catch a virus and die anyway. So what are we even doing?
Here's a common sense question too, dude. And Brandon probably the same way. I have a lot of family in places like Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama that live way out in the country. Why is nobody dying at home? Like, everybody dies in the hospital. I got family members that refuse to go to the hospital. All these people that are staying home seem to be okay. And no matter how old they are, it's when they get to that hospital and they get on these respirators and these breathing machines, all of a sudden Then it's, they got in a wreck, but they died of COVID. They got in this, but they died of COVID. Somebody had stage 4 cancer, but they died of COVID. If this was like they say it is, there would also be people passing away, old people passing away at their house in the back room or wherever, because a lot of people refuse to go to the hospital. That's a red flag for me. So you're telling me the place I need to stay away from if I get COVID is the hospital. I will be staying at home, drinking vitamin C. You will not find me in a hospital should I catch COVID, because it seems like everyone who goes there, that's where the risk is.
That's where they taking L's at, man. Because and here's the thing: I heard a doctor say it, but they banning doctors off any communication that bucks up against their system. Doctors were saying that putting people on respirators is really killing people because they're putting people on respirators too soon, and it's blowing their lungs out. And these people aren't sick enough to have to do that. There's other remedies that can help with breathing and lung condition than to blow their stuff out, putting them on them respirators. And what do you know? They get on respirators and they die. If the respirator was effective, how do you get on it and die? I mean, how many people get on a respirator and recover? I want to know that. And here's one thing I really want to know. How many people took the flu vaccine? Because I quit taking the flu vaccine 6 years ago. How many people that got COVID with the flu vaccine and died? Because they told people that you cannot take what is it called? It's not. What is the pack called that they give you at antibiotics?
A Z pack.
No. For the flu. It's called.
Yeah,
God,
I think the Z.
I can't think of the name of it, but they give you the antibiotic pack for the flu. Tamiflu. It's called Tamiflu. So they give you Tamiflu when you have the flu to take, and they told people, do not take Tamiflu with COVID-19 because it would exacerbate your symptoms and you will die. It will cause you to be worse than what you are taking Tamiflu. So people can't take Tamiflu. But yet they're not criticizing the fact that what did it do to people who took the flu vaccine before they get COVID? Like I'm telling you, man, like that's something that we need to think about. Will never take a COVID-19 vaccine. I quit taking the flu vaccine. And when me and Corinne have kids, they ain't taking no vaccine. None. They're not getting none. I'm not vaccinating my kids. And we'll take our chances. They come out and they do this.
Just give them honey and garlic. Honey and garlic, man. Honey and garlic will work for them. But this is the thing you also got to think about as well, Brandon. What about all these people that have lived for 100 years before and 100 years, all these American Indians, all this stuff? They weren't taking vaccines and all this other stuff. Now I understand they try to scare you with the smallpox and all that other stuff. But now they said the gambit of vaccines you have to go through is completely insane. So I'm sitting here wondering, are they vaccinating to help you, or are they vaccinating to limit the potential of what your human condition might be? Y'all might be born with superpowers. You don't even know. You might have the ability to heal people and they vaccinating it away. Who knows? All I know now is after 2020, there's a ton of people out here who now are willing to listen. Before they were like, I don't believe in something called conspiracy theory. Now people are sitting here saying conspiracy theory. Now I know there's such a thing as conspiracy fact. Like, because people are watching how insane this looks. Like you said, Brandon, the other day I walked into a restaurant. They made me leave the restaurant to get a mask, go buy a mask next door at the gas station. Walked in the restaurant 4 feet, sat at a table, and then took the mask off. And they were like, "Thank you, sir. You did your part to stop the spread of COVID." I'm sitting here like, if this is the V for Vendetta game that we've been in, what else have they been doing? Like, what other lies have they been feeding the populace if they've been doing this? And they expect you to believe it. Now, the part that scares me, B, is that we've had no recourse over the years. So it's just like in 1963, if you're in Dallas and they're lying, you were there in Dealey Plaza and you heard 10 shots, and except the official story is Oswald shot 2, but you heard 10. There's nothing you could do as a human because you're like, they gonna get me. Right now, we're sitting in a place to where we're like, we know this government, something is wrong. And what are we going to do? And we have a lot of people that are sitting here saying, I'm just going to be scared. I'm going to be a slave and I'm going to put my head down and I'm going to go ahead and eat this lasagna and act like I don't see what's going on. And that's what scares me, is that God is showing people to the level of, because before they were like, I'm just going to turn this way, but I don't know if I really saw that. There's no excuse now, bro. These people are walking around with glorified panty liners on their face, talking about it's protected them from some airborne disease that at first was airborne, then it was on the land, then it's on air. I mean, this is like a Navy SEAL, a Navy SEAL virus. You know what I mean? That's going around, and people are now sitting here still trying to convince themselves. And what God has, it's even biblical, man, to where God says every person will be forced to make a choice. They're going to be forced to make a choice. And right now, people are like, yo, I see what's going on, but I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe this has been going on my whole life. I don't want to believe that I was wrong about President Trump and that he really is a person who has come to change things. Not that he's some sort of saint, but he's been ordained to change things. You know, like you heard 50 Cent, get rich or die trying. This is free America or nothing. This is the Alamo all over again. This is draw a line in the sand. This is it, baby. Like, this is where we're going.
So get the blank over it, just super chatted and said, why are the hundreds and thousands of homeless okay? No mask, no sanitation, no distancing, yet we are dying and they are not. That's because you know why? ABL, I'm gonna give it to you. You know why? It's because they ain't ending up in the hospital. They not going to the hospital and getting hooked up on that stuff that's killing them. They put these people on them ventilators and they smoking their lungs out, man. These people just sit over there and shake a little bit and they get over it. What was you gonna say, ABL?
Yeah, and one thing about you, if you're a homeless person, you got a strong immune system, because think about it. You be out there outside all day. You probably banging needles, you know, shooting heroin, snorting coke, whatever. You out there in the mud and the dirt, all kind of trash and environments around you. Your immune system is built for it tough. Okay. So whatever kind of COVID or whatever, you're not even worried about that, because that thing will just come into your sphere and bounce right off of you. Okay. You pretty much got a force field around you because of your very strong immune system. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, like you said, they're not going to the hospital and they're not getting put on a vent. One thing about a ventilator, if you've never really seen it, they put you into a medically induced coma, and then they put a tube down your throat, because you couldn't actually be conscious with that tube down your throat. You wouldn't be able to tolerate it. So basically, you're dead already. They make you almost dead to have a ventilator work for you. And the ventilator is breathing for you, and you're not able to fight the virus off or work your lungs that way. So if they ever take you off of the ventilator, it's like pulling a life support plug, because you are not going to be able to resume your normal breathing after the ventilator is over with. For the most part, I think they said 80% of those that got put on the vent will die, because that's like end of life type thing. I saw my aunt on that when she was like way in her late 80s, and she was on it for a while. And we had to eventually like take her off of it and let her pass away, because when you're in that state, you're not really living. You know, if you're too far gone, you're not really living. So the ventilator is not an effective treatment. They have things that are effective, like hydroxychloroquine, but they don't want to do that. They just want to say, oh, that's not really effective. It doesn't really work. So they're saying it doesn't work. Although doctors all around the world, not just here in the States, but all around the world, say that it does work. You don't want to take that, which is not invasive. It's cheap. You can get it for pennies on a dollar. It's in the pill form. You don't have to go in there and get a needle or anything or any kind of no surgery. You can just get that and a Z-Pack. It's like going to Rite Aid and taking some NyQuil for a common cold. That's kind of the way that it is, really. You could take that, but they don't want you to take that. They want to get you on remdesivir, which is very expensive. You got to go IV. You got to get several treatments, and it's experimental. It's not even the old drug like hydroxychloroquine is. Okay, they want to put you on that, or they want to put you on a ventilator, which is expensive for insurance, and also they get paid if you go on a ventilator, you know, from the federal government. So it's all kind of monies flowing around. But the main thing is going on that ventilator, that's not really going to help. If you're a homeless person, you have a very high immune system, which is why the mask is counterproductive. You got to build your immune system. If you are staying at home all day and wearing a mask, you're not building your immune system. It's like being in a bubble your whole life, and then pop the bubble, you're 35 years old, all of a sudden you're being introduced to all these viruses for the very first time, and your body has no ability to be able to deal with it, and you got to constantly work on your immune system. It's like working out. If you don't work out, you lose muscle tone, you won't be physically fit. It's the same thing with your immune system. So you got to be able to get back out there and get back to normal life.
100%. But I want people to know that's watching this is that these people are lying to you. They're fraudulent. You watch the way they move, watch the way they talk, watch the way they operate. Dr. Fauci went to that baseball game. That fool wasn't social distancing. He had a mask down over his nose because you can't breathe with it on. I wear that thing. I go to the store because when I go into people's private business, I say, look, I respect your business. I don't agree with this mask stuff, but I respect your business. If I don't want to wear a mask, I don't come in your business. I don't care. Outside, I'm not wearing no mask. They can kiss my rear end. But I can't breathe. So when I wear the mask, I wear my nose out. And I just have it right here, but my nose out. Because I need to breathe, man. I can't be sitting there. And then in Arizona, it's 120 degrees outside. Bro, you outside for 10 minutes and you breathing in the hot air that's coming out your mouth back. Bro, you start overheating. When I fly on the airplane and I put the stupid mask on, bro, I'm getting hot and sleepy because I'm getting oxygen deprivation. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm being deprived of oxygen. So I started to feel like, dang, I'm getting kind of tired. It's not because I'm tired. It's because I'm not getting enough oxygen into my brain. And when you lack of oxygen to the brain will make you pass out. Let me answer a couple of these super chats because y'all been flooding in the super chats. Let's see. John, I guess it's John, maybe Jonah. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Let's see. AL Justice. Thanks so much for the super chat. Pandemic equals affecting a wide geographic area an exceptionally high proportion of a population. Yet no one news channel can talk about more than maybe 4 different states out of 50. That makes sense. I think they call it a pandemic because it's around the world. But when you look at the United States of America, come on. Let's go to, they talk about the state of California. They talk about California. No, you're talking about the city in California. You're not talking about the whole state. Because if you look at the whole state per capita, it's not that many people that have it. Look at Arizona. 7 million people live in Arizona. I think we had like 3,000 people die from COVID-19. Bro, 7 million people live here. Get out of here. And that's the Census Bureau information that's deciding who lives here, not just all the snowbirds that come here. And it's all crazy. Let me get a couple more of these super chats because a few of y'all hit a hundo, and I want to make sure I answer your questions. But dude, it's out of control, man. Let's see. Get the H out of here. I already answered yours. Oscar, thanks so much for the super chat. Sorry to change subject. We should pray for the little white kid who got shot. Let's talk about that next. Also, we should find out, do they have enough money to bury the kid? Not assuming because they're white, they have money. Let's keep it 100%. Let's talk about that, man. ABL, I know you be always on it, man. You the brain surgeon, and Derek is the theologian, and I just run my mouth. So I don't know much about that situation. I heard and I read an article that said that the black guy who's in his 20s just ate dinner with Cannon's family. And then at some point, he pulled a gun in the boy's head and shot him dead in front of his little sisters. Do you have any more information, ABL, about that?
All right. So what I know so far is that the guy that killed the little boy and the little boy's father knew each other. They were next door neighbors. The killer lived on that same street for 28 years, and the neighbors of the parents of the white kid, they lived right next to him for years. They were friends. They would hang out. He had dinner at his house on that Friday. He was at his house like 24 hours before the shooting. So they knew each other. They were friends, apparently. And just randomly, one day, like it was on a Sunday. So that Friday, he had dinner with him. I think Saturday he was at his house. Sunday at 5:30 p.m., he just walks up to the boy. I think the boy was riding his bike and playing with his siblings, and they're saying the boy might have rode his bike into the guy's yard. They killed him. It doesn't really matter, but he walked up on him and then shot him point blank range. So it wasn't an accident. It wasn't like, oh, I didn't mean to do what I was shooting. Nah, it was a point blank range thing. Witnesses saw him, his siblings saw it, and the boy's father ran out and grabbed the boy. And, shortly after that, he passed away. I think he died in the hospital. And they caught that guy in Goldsboro, which is about a half hour north. And the situation happened in Wilson, North Carolina. Wilson is about an hour east of Raleigh-Durham. And that's probably about an hour and a half south of Virginia, where I'm from, not too far from my particular hometown. So, I mean, it's crazy, man. The media is not touching it with a 10-foot pole, obviously, because of the races that are involved, because the little boy was white and the killer was black. Now, if it was the other way around, oh, man, you talking about Dylan Roof, you talking about, they be calling them white supremacists. Really, the race shouldn't matter. It should just be, why did this man kill this little boy? An innocent little boy. Nobody can say, oh, it was something. Nah, this was an innocent little boy playing with his siblings. What is the situation that happened? I don't know all the details, but I do know what I just told you.
What happened, man? Like, it makes no sense that he shot that little 5. The kid's 5. Now, I understand if he was 15 and they got into an altercation and the guy lost his temper. But, man, if he rode in your yard, just get a belt. Take out there and whoop him or something. What are you going to shoot the kid for? Killed him, bro. I mean, if I was his father, somebody, my son will be 10 this month. If my 10-year-old was out here, somebody shot him. You got to die, man. I'm coming for you, baby. I'm not even call the police. I'm coming for you. And I know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just... It's crazy to me. Let me get a couple of these super chats. Michael, thanks so much for the super chat. Say you guys rock. This was an old one. Ryan, thanks so much for the super chat. ABL, what's up? Officer Tatum, been watching you. Much love. I'm new to you, Derek. Get woke, go broke. I will keep saying it. All right, let's see. I think that's it for right now. But everybody, thank you so much. I want to thank everybody. We got to 12,000 people watching. We need to get to 13,000. I know y'all can hit that like button. Hit the like button. We should at least have 12,000 likes. Where we at on the likes? We only had 6,900 likes. Y'all tripping. We should get 13,000 likes, man. We should have 13,000 likes. But man, that story was crazy. What's up, Derek?
To piggyback on ABL there, I look at it like this. This is shocking, and I'm glad we're pointing these things out. We're pointing out the hypocrisies of this African-American gentleman who shot this kid. We have to understand also that, this happens every day in Chicago to black kids too. It doesn't come on the news, and we need to start paying attention to all colors. This is happening across the globe, and it seems like it only matters, like we said before, if a white cop kills an African-American person because it fits their agenda. Not that they care about African-American people. African-American or black people, whatever you want to call them, are being pimped right now. It's 100% pimp game. Everybody can see it except the people who are being used like a cheap prostitute, which is the black community. So in this scenario, one thing I always learn from backing up is if something looks like there's something deeper in the story, there usually is. And this is where that Brandon Tatum philosophy comes in handy, where it says, look, something else is going on. It feels like something else is going on with this man and the family and the street, and something else is going on. So let's let all the facts come out and figure out what's going on here, because, a lot of time people say, oh, this dude just went and shot and whatever. I have a feeling that something else is going on as well. So let's wait for all of it to come out. But it is an atrocity that this kid is not getting more pub because we know that Al Sharpton, if it was the other way around, Al Sharpton would already be there. They'd be talking about gold caskets and platinum caskets and spinners on the hearse. They'd be doing all kind of crazy stuff. And again, it's an agenda-based philosophy. But we have to sit here and say to ourselves, we have a mission right now. So although I appreciate everybody coming out and being like, we need to keep his name and whatever, understand the only way we change things is if we keep Trump in, stay focused, and get Trump in, and then we'll go ahead and try to eliminate these globalist factions that are funding these movements and funding the media to attack people who have your best interests in mind.
You couldn't have said it any better, man. We got to get Trump in office. I mean, we got to keep him in office. I think people are not realizing what this means. Like, it's not just a matter of, oh, I don't like the way he talks. Let's get somebody else in there that talks better. This is the end of America. They already saying, I think Kamala Harris and them came out and said that they want day one of them being the president and, vice president, that they're going to mandate masks on a federal level. Federal mandate that every state require you to wear a mask. Like, if that's not intruding on your constitutional rights and your freedoms, I don't know what is, man. These people, Joe Biden already said he's going to nobody needs to have a AR. He already said that. Him and Beta came out and said they're going to take the AR-15. Nobody needs to have magazines that have more than 30 rounds in it or 30 rounds in it. Like, bro, I mean, what are y'all, what drives a person that lives in America to think that any of that makes sense? They want to defund the police department, and then they don't want you to have a gun. What? Y'all need to be asking them at the town hall. Well, what's next, bro? You don't want us to have a gun because why would we need a gun when the police department protects us? Then you want to get rid of half of the police department. Then what are y'all doing for the criminals? Because the criminals ain't going to say, oh, you know what, y'all understaffed. I get it, bro. We're going to lay a couple of our criminals off too. We ain't going to really go as hard as we could because y'all ain't got enough people to arrest us. No, they're going to amp it up. Now they're going to get emboldened because you could kick somebody's front door in and you got half of the police officers. Bro, they're not going to catch you in time. You can shoot somebody. They don't have an investigative team to do that. And ABL made that video, and I was watching your video about Chief Best in Seattle who quit being a chief because of what they're doing. They got rid of the homeless unit that really, they keep up with the homeless and stuff like that. Some investigatory units that they've gotten rid of. They're getting rid of 100 officers off the streets. I mean, it was like 35 officers off the street, but 100 officers total. It's like, I was a cop, man. Being understaffed puts the public at risk. It takes you about a year to become a police officer. So if people begin to leave, if you begin to fire officers and you want to replace them with other officers or some other entity, it's going to take you a year for you to transition to that. And so they should be thinking about transitioning to defunding the police if they were serious over a period of time. They're laying out people instantaneously, dismantling a whole police department with no plan for any recourse. And this is crazy, bro. But you can see it in plain sight.
But you know what's going to end up happening? What's going to end up happening is that you're going to have the crime increase. It's already going on. Like they just starting to defund the police. They're just talking about defunding the police, and you already got crime rising up all over the country, not just in one city, not just in Chicago, all over the country, from Seattle to New York to down south, up north, everywhere you're talking about defunding the police, crime is rising up as a result, which is predictable. And what you said about being able to replace those that have quit. See, the thing about it in New York, they're cutting the funding, so they can't even really replace people. They can't even do it. They haven't got the money to do it. So if you do have an academy in this environment, who's going to actually be the officers that you get? Are you going to get a good quality person to join? I remember I was watching, I think it might have been Cocaine Cowboys, a documentary about the drug wars down in Miami in the 80s with the Cubans and whatnot and the Colombians. Now, they were talking about how corrupt Miami police got because of all the drugs and everything else and all the crime, because nobody wanted to go down there and be a cop because of the high crime level. And that's happening right now in these major cities all over the nation. You already got a dangerous place like Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, etc. Then on top of that, you're going to have more crime. So if you get a cop in that particular environment, you might not get a good one. It got so bad in Miami to the point where one entire academy either died or went to jail. The whole academy, everybody died and went to jail. So you're going to have less police. And if you get anybody else, it might get to the point where you don't have any kind of good police. You're running off the good cops to bring in just random guys on the street. And then they're going to keep lowering the standards. Oh, okay, you can't have a drug felony. Okay, well, within the past 10 years. Okay, well, within the past year. Well, you can't be high right now during the interview. That's how you get bad cops. And that's how the whole thing goes. And I did a video about how 81% of Black Americans in the poll, they had, I think, 20,000 people of all different races, but 81% of Black Americans either want the same number of police on the ground or more. 81%. This whole defund the police thing is not popular among any race group, Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, nobody. It's a small minority of people that have very loud voices that are pushing this whole action to go through. The average person is not really wanted, and the average person will be the one that suffers.
100%, dude. When I was a cop and we started doing this stuff, bro, we got a whole batch of bad police officers, whole batch of incompetent police officers. When I was joining the police department, you had to make a 75 or above on the entry test. Like that's just to apply. And you can't study for it. You just have to have this knowledge in you. You had to make a 75 or above. And then once you got past that in the academy, you had to make a 90 or 95 and above every test in the academy. And if you fail the test, they'll give you remedial. If you happen to fail 3 tests out of 17, you are kicked out the academy. You had to make a 90 plus, bro. I mean, that wasn't easy. Doing the work all day and then having to study for a test. And then when you were in field training, which I was a field training officer, that means right when you get it finished with the academy and all that other stuff you got to do, you ride with another senior officer and you go through phases. You start with the phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and you got to prove that you can be a solo officer. But in that, as stressful as being a cop is, as a rookie, you still had to test. And we had to make a 92 or something or better on all of our tests in field training. And now the entry-level test, they said they got to make like a 40. And then,
wow,
like, bro, you think about this for a minute. There are people when I got on the police department, there were people who had degrees. Like some people were they worked at a bank. They were making 6 figures. They quit that to be a police officer because the job and what they were doing, and they were called to do such. Now, you're not going to get anybody like that. You're not going to get the people that are very successful and they just choose it because they love the community enough. It's like, no, I'm not going to work there. I'm going to go work somewhere else. You may end up getting people doing private security more so than working for municipal police departments. And here's another trick that they're tricking people on. They may get rid of the municipality, then they're going to have to use the county. See, this is the thing that has happened. It happened in California. It happened all around the country. When the municipal police department, the city police are disbanded or they cannot do a function properly, then they have the county come in and take jurisdiction. And that's going to happen in some of these places where they're saying, we're going to dismantle the police department. No, they're trying to dismantle the city police. And then they're going to have to rely on the county police to come and serve, because you cannot have the citizenry in a position where they're not being served or they're not being protected. You just can't have that. And so they line the people in order to save money, if that makes any sense, because they don't have to pay for the county. The county comes through the county taxes, or they have state police come in and the state funds the police. That city will save that money and they'll fire all the police officers, but they're still going to use 911. I believe that's what they're headed to, but they're trying to cut money and lie to you and get a big FU to the police department. And what's going to end up happening is that they're going to end up having to hire more county sheriff deputies. And so they keep talking to you about city police, and then they're going to come back door, and before you know it, the county police department or county sheriff office is going to be huge. It's going to be 3 times the size it was. But they're not going to talk about that because people don't hear about the sheriff deputy. They hear about police. Like, you don't know what sheriff deputy patrols Chicago sheriff county, whatever county Chicago is in.
Cook County.
You don't hear about them as much as you hear about Chicago PD. Neither do you hear about the New York, whoever patrols New York County, even Seattle PD. King County Sheriff is one of the biggest sheriff department in the United States of America. They are the sheriff department that patrols King County, which Seattle is in King County. So, I mean, that's just a food for thought.
But you know what? Where I was at in Virginia, you didn't have counties. All you had was cities. But what you did have was state troopers coming through.
Yeah,
that was a constant sight on the highway. State troopers all the time.
Yeah, in Arizona, you had the city, you had the county, and you have state troopers. And a lot of them dudes, you know, they don't play in Arizona, dude. Policing is pretty solid in Arizona. Like, even the Police Chief Jerry Williams, which I cannot stand her guts. She came out hard at first, now she's soft. Now she walking with Black Lives Matter and stuff. But when they protested Trump, she said, we will not tolerate that in our city. Man, they were shooting people and everything. Not with the guns, they were shooting with less lethal. You're not blocking the freeway in Arizona. That's not happening. State troopers ain't playing that. Like city police may play that. State troopers ain't playing that. They come out there and they put you down. And they would shoot you and everything.
I have a question for both of y'all. And it kind of came to me earlier, and it's about something I posted about 2 months ago, a month ago, and then this week. 2 months ago, I had posted that these criminals and thugs had gotten so out of hand that as a deterrent, I was thinking about going to the old school, for capital punishment, public executions, just so people could have some sort of deterrent, because it seemed like there was no deterrent for anything going. I said it again a month ago, and then people were kind of more into it. Now, this week, if y'all heard, there was a shooting at the White House. These people are they're willing to burn down churches, willing to shoot, I'm going to try to shoot at the president's chopper. I'm going to do anything. At some certain point, do you guys have any idea how to provide a deterrent? Because I know back in the 1300s, where my family was from in Venice, they used to string you up outside the church for everybody to see, like arm by arm, strung up. And then people would be like, I'm chilling. I'm not doing that no more. I'm not doing what he did. But it seems like right now, and I don't know if y'all heard the story about supposedly these looters for reparation in Chicago, like the looters for reparation. They supposedly ran up in the Ronald McDonald House. Did y'all hear this? They ran up in the Ronald McDonald House, and a little cancer kid couldn't have a surgery, something like that. Bro, come on, bro. At this point, it's time for people to fight back, man. Like, we need some ideas. We just can't allow people to run up in the Ronald McDonald House, man. There ain't no French fries in there. What is y'all trying to get?
They thought it was.
ABL, what you got for me on this? I know you heard about the Ronald McDonald thing, man.
Yeah, they threw bricks in the window of the Ronald McDonald House. You got sick kids in the Ronald McDonald House. This is not like the McDonald's headquarters. These morons trying to steal some money from Ronald McDonald himself. You got little kids in there sick, man. Like, what are you doing throwing bricks through the window, scaring kids, almost hurting kids that's already injured, that's already sick? Like, what are you even doing? But these people, man, they're just crazy. But, you got to be able to have that good law enforcement, have the backup of the local authority so they can just do what they got to do, man. If you do something like that, you got to get slammed on your high parts right quick and then send off to Gitmo, man, big rocks, little rocks all day, because you can't leave the kids alone, leave everybody alone, okay? If you want to injure yourself, then go do it, but leave everybody else alone.
But you growing up, you had a consequences, bro. Consequences. Like, I would personally, when I was going around, because like I said, I go visit family members, whether they be on the way in Fresno, Oakland, wherever. I knew there was a little thing in my brain that was like, okay, we about to go ride to the store. I'd be like, well, who's in this car? Let me make sure ain't nobody. Everybody got their little thing. It's like now these guys have no consequence. We're not providing. It's like they could do anything they want. Brandon, how do you feel right now? Like, do you feel like are we lacking here? Do we need to man up? And like, these dudes what are they going to do next?
Bro, we gotta, I was going to use a word I shouldn't use. We got to man up, bro, because you got to take your city back. Nobody should be going to the Ronald McDonald House, dude, throwing bricks at these kids. At that point, you need to defend yourself. And just like out here, man, I see people like that police officer in Wisconsin. They came to this girl house. I don't know why he wasn't armed, but they came to this girl house doing all that. I'm telling y'all right now. You come, hold on.
You ready to get it?
I got my thing in my office. You come over here to my house. I'm not finna talk to you about nothing. I'm gonna have the rifle out, and I'm gonna walk out my yard and say, if one of y'all come on my property, you're a dead man. Any of y'all start throwing bricks up in here, we're gonna go up on the roof, and you're gonna be, I don't know how many of y'all gonna get hit, but y'all gonna get hit. You know what I'm saying? We'll mess around and turn the lights off in here. Turn all the lights off, and it's game time. I ain't playing. You ain't throwing bricks through these windows because you ain't gonna fix them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't got the money to fix this stuff. You throw a brick through my window, I'm putting one of these in your, you know what? And I think that we need to protect our communities. We can start there. They come over on my community with all that protesting. I'm gonna help my neighbors. We get together. We can go down with the rifle slang. In Arizona, there was a couple guys in Arizona. I forget the group. I think 3%ers. I don't know what they were. Some people called them racist, but they weren't. There were businesses that were opening up, and you had the BLM stuff. Well, they were walking around because in Arizona it's an open carry state, and you don't need no permit or nothing. They had tac vests and everything on. They were walking around and checking all the businesses and making sure everything's okay. Full tac gear, like 12 of them. And then people on their street coming up to, it was at Old Town Scottsdale. People on their street blocked the whole street off with rifles. Like, you come up in here, you have a problem. We need to do more of that. Let me catch some of these super chats real quick. Kelly, thanks so much for the super chat. Keep speaking the truth. God bless you. Trump 2020, 100%. Brandon need to run for president. God bless. Man, I'll be a crazy president, boy. Y'all think Trump crazy? I'll be in there going crazy. You say something crazy to me, I'm being there. Press secretary, get out the way. Let me tell these fools something. I'll be in there cussing them. Patrick, thanks so much for the super chat. I say if you get rid of categories like black, white, left, right, Republican, Democrat, gay, lesbian, etc., you can get rid of racism. What do you think? Nah, I don't think. No, you ain't gonna get rid of racism. People gonna be racist. They're just gonna call it something else. You can be on 30th Street. People gonna hate people on 30th Street. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be the new racism. They just hate you because you live on another street. Fred, thank you so much for the super chat. There was one I needed to get to because you had it on here. Jason said, imagine how great things would be if the RNC would identify and support financially black conservatives in the inner cities running for office. This will be needed 100%. I mean, just like Tamika Hamilton. Tamika Hamilton, and I don't know if y'all know Tamika, but I've gotten a chance to know her over a period of time. I donate to her campaign all the time. And I pledged $1,000 today to donate to her campaign. But Tamika actually has a chance to win. And people are not understanding that there are seats that we can flip in the House that Republicans can easily win. They're uncontested. And we don't know that. You know what I'm saying? And we letting these liberals, they're the ones doing, they put AOC in there. They already knew that seat could be flipped. And that's a pretty big district. Tamika Hamilton is in District 3, California, the biggest district in California. And that can be flipped. And so I'll put the link in. If you go to the community tab, I'll try to put the link in the description section to donate to Tamika because she needs to raise $40K, which is nothing. She needs to raise $40K. And I already gave my part. But anyway, I just want to throw that out there. I do think the RNC should try to go through like the Democrats do and pick people. Do a scout. Look at one of the most popular people in the community, whether they openly conservative or not, pick somebody and get them in the office that have the same values. I think people are just not understanding that they play dirty games. We trying to play nice and they killing us. AOC should never be in office. She is the dumbest person that I know, and she's in office. Calling shots in there looking like a dummy with two left shoes on. How's that possible? I do not know. Somebody said nice AR. I got the 12. Somebody said 12 gauge. I got that one down there too. I just keep this one up in the studio. This is upstairs. So just in case, I got the high ground. In case somebody want to get jiggy in here, I can hit you from a long way. I can hit you from way out. But anyway, the shotgun have 14 rounds in it. I don't know if y'all know that shotgun has 14 rounds. You load them in there. See, my wife down there, she ain't gonna want to get my shotgun, and it's way down there. But that thing got 14 rounds, bro. I wouldn't have shot that at the range, and I'm like, ouch. I ain't gonna even lie, bro. I'm like, I need prints in here. But anyway, the AR is my baby though. ABL got it. ABL got it.
With the red dot on it, you already know what it is. In the foregrip. It's no game. None at all. Hey. You already know what it is.
Hey, no games. I got that Daniel Defense, man. I like these Daniel Defense. It's the super lightweight, so it's smooth.
Oh yeah.
Got the octagon. I put the tack light on it just in case I had the light.
Yeah, I thought about getting a tack light myself. Get a tack light at the end. Yeah.
See it light up. It's real bright in here, so you can't see it, but it light up. It flicker too, so just in case I want to get a diversionary tactic.
Right.
We'll light them up, man. We'll light like a Christmas tree. But anyway, let me stop before they ban me on this thing. Let me say a few more things. Thank everybody for joining Tatum Squad. We almost hitting our goal. I think we need like 20 more people to join Tatum Squad to hit the goal that I wanted to reach. Which it's up to you if you want to join. You get special perks when you're on the Tatum Squad. It's just the way it is. If you want to join, ABL has a squad too. You got to go look at his squad, read the description, and see what the benefits are being in the squad. With mine, we do a live stream just for the squad, just for Tatum Squad members, twice a month. And then you get access to the videos when they come out before everybody else, stuff like that. Also, when we do discussions, all the events and meetings that we have, y'all know before anybody else know. So that's up with the Tatum Squad, man. But ABL, somebody asked about those flags. How do they get those flags that's behind you?
Oh, yeah. Go to my website right now, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the menu right there on the upper left-hand corner and see them little 3 bars. Hit the menu and go down to wooden flags. Click that link right there on the website. It'll take you straight there. You can get whatever you want. You can get these flags I have behind me. You can get your own custom made, whatever you want. It's up there on the website. And tell them I sent you.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Somebody said we need to have a video of us going to the range, man. We all need to link up in one central location, man. We can do this live. We can do like a live thing where we invite people and we can have a conversation, and then people can ask us questions at a live event. I think we can do that, and it could be really, really good for people to come out and check it out. Patriots getting together, having a good time. Let me see. I think that's it. That's all we got for the super chats. Derek, you got anything else, man?
No, man. I just, like I said, this week, I wanted to make sure I mentioned the Ronald McDonald thing, man. That really messed me up because I was like, we gotta draw the line somewhere, man. All this fun talk is cool and whatever, but at a point where people feel so crazy that it's being like Arkham Asylum in the Batman movie, you're only one step away from a dude with face paint and green hair showing up in DC, acting like the Joker. So we got to do something. Also, I wanted to give a massive shout out to the president for when he was at that press conference and they took him out, and then he came back. And when he came back, they were like, "Are you shook?" He was like, "Do I look shook?" Like this dude. I mean, bro, like every time I'm like, he can't really motivate me anymore. Blah blah. I'm like, yo, this dude is like, he's like that general. If you in the military, that you just want to get behind him and be like, yeah. Like I'm like, man, this dude. He's off the chain, bro. Like I wanted to show him love. I wanted to make sure I showed him love for that because I thought that was real smooth.
For sure, man. I just want to say again, thank you everybody for the super chats. Thank you everybody for joining the Tatum Squad. This was a good week, man. Shout out to Modern Renaissance, man. Jericho Green was in the chat, man. Thank you everybody for what y'all have done for the channel, man. We over 1 million. I'm trying to get to 1.5 million. And I think we can do great things, man. But we need to help everybody get that to that point, man. So you got to go follow ABL, Derek Gradanego. Y'all need to go follow Derek. He right here on the YouTube channel. He just launched his YouTube, putting videos out every day, bangers. And I mean that's how we get the message out there. Some people will listen to ABL before they'll listen to me. Some people listen to Derek before they listen to us. And if you got more power in your arsenal, if you follow all of us and grab something for somebody to share with that friend that will only listen to maybe one of us or all of us. And I think that'll be good.
We also got to blow that Tatum report up, man. We got to blow the Tatum report up. I mean, that's where we got to blow up, man. That's the future. That's where we're going in the future.
Right. Let me explain Tatum Report real quick because I forgot to even mention my own website. So we just launched Tatum Report, I don't know, a while back. But Tatum Report, what we wanted to do with Tatum Report is that the Drudge Report is going left. Every time you look at it, it's negative, it's leftist type stuff, anti-President Trump. And we say, you know what, man, enough is enough. We need to be prepared for the election. And I wanted to get a place where you can have central ideas and news in one place. It's an aggregate where we have news from everywhere from the conservative perspective. And we do a lot of other stuff there. We donate to police officers, police organization. We got a few that we have in mind that we're going to donate to more recently. So we do stuff like that. We're innovating. We're innovating all times. We're going to have a section on there in the future in the near future, where you click on the link like on Drudge, but it'll take you to a place where you can do comments and you can share links and stuff like that, man. It's going to be legit. So y'all need to go on to Tatum Report, jump on there. If it's in your heart to donate. But most importantly, you need to join the newsletter thing. So every time there's a new thing that pops up, it'll send you a link to the major stories. Every time one pop up, we'll send you a push notification. You'll get the stories. That's where I get all my stories from. ABL has a website as well. ABL, tell them about your website.
Oh yeah, go to anthonyblogan.com, ANTHONY, letter B, LOGAN.com. Everything's on there. Every article that's on there, I write. If it has my name on it, I wrote it. I always give a lot of sources, a lot of information. So whatever's going on right now, you could pretty much be rest assured that you're getting some real stuff. You know, even if you don't believe what I write myself, check out all the sources. I link to everything from all over, local media, left, right, centrist, whatever. You can read everything for yourself right there on AnthonyBlogan.com.
Yeah, we're going to get some ABL stuff, exclusive stuff on our stuff. So if you happen to be running across us, you'll see ABL and you'll go to his and share his. So Derek got his new channel. Derek on social media. Where can they find you, Derek?
On Instagram, Derek Gradinigo. On Facebook, Derek Gradinigo. On Twitter, @DGradinigo. You can find me on Parler @Derek Gradinigo. And then the new YouTube channel. Thank all y'all. Is blowing up. I got 500,000 views in like 20 days. I mean, I'm doing a real good job, but I love y'all for showing up and showing out. And like I tell people, when you come on my channel, it's not to, you don't have to agree with everything. It's meant to challenge your mind. 5D chess. You know what I mean? We talk about spirituality, politics, everything across the board. From the Bible and to systems, to globalism and who's running things and all that. So I know a lot of people disagree, but you're supposed to disagree. I'm just trying to challenge your mind,
Right. Tatum podcast is becoming soon. I think I'm going to end up doing 2 podcasts, but Tatum Report will have a podcast. We're going to try to build that out as well. Tatum Report channel, YouTube channel. Go on and follow Tatum Report YouTube channel as well. I want to get it to 10,000 subscribers so we can make that thing monetize and do a lot of things to build that channel out as well. So 10,000 subscribers, that's our goal, y'all. We got 10,000 people watching this. After this, go over to Tatum Report's YouTube channel and subscribe to the Tatum Report YouTube channel. We have unique videos that we post on there that my media guy puts together, collages of news and everything that don't always involve me. But it's news, it's stuff that's shareable. So go on the Tatum Report. Hey man, I think it's good for the week. I think this was a good show. Y'all let me know in the comment section that you like it. And give some feedback if you want us to do different things. And ABL and Derek and we talk about it after the show. But if y'all have some feedback, we'll love to hear from it. Scott, thank you so much for doing the mods. I appreciate it. I don't know why that popped up. I guess I pushed the wrong button. Every Thursday.
ABL, did you give yours out? Did you give your social out?
Oh yeah. Follow me on YouTube right here. Search ABL. You see it right here in the bottom left-hand corner of my particular window. Search right here on YouTube, ABL. I'll come right on up first. And then, of course, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and right here on YouTube. Go to my website. I'm going to say it one more time, AnthonyBlogan.com. Go to the contact page. You can see everything right there as far as social media is concerned. Also, my snail mail, my email, all of that's right there on the contact page at AnthonyBlogan.com.
Perfect, man. Every Thursday, 5 p.m. is when you need to get on here. Now, we'll get on here right after that. So we get y'all some time to get in the news feed and talk trash and get started. And then we'll jump right around 5. We start every Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Love you guys. I appreciate y'all watching. 2 hours straight. See you on the next one. We out.
Peace.